Hey everyone, how are you doing today? Hope you're doing well. So do me a favor before we get started. I need you to hit this like button. If you're not a subscriber, I need you to do me a favor, hit the subscribe button and notification bell next to it so that you will not miss an episode. Also, check me out on IG, elevation_mentor. So, how is everyone today? So, today we're going to talk about the Heloc, home equity line of credit. Will this mess up my current interest rate on the home that I have now? So, with the interest rates, a lot of people are on the sidelines, right? Because the interest rates are too high. So, some people are on the sidelines, but other people are doing business as usual. So, if you're ready to jump back in, will getting a HELOC mess up the interest rate that you have now? So, some people currently have good interest rates because you bought your home a long time ago. So, there are people out here that have 2% interest rates, 3% interest rates on their homes because they bought the home a long time ago. So, you're ready to jump back in. Will this HELOC mess up the interest rate that I have on the home currently? That is the question that we're going to answer today. We're also going to talk about the HELOC and the difference between the HELOC and the cash out refi. So, to answer the question in a nutshell, the HELOC does not mess up the current interest rate that you have. So, the HELOC is like a separate second mortgage, if you will, and the interest rate on the HELOC it fluctuates according to the market. So, the HELOC is variable. It has a variable interest rate. It's not fixed like the mortgage. So, the mortgage is fixed. Say, for example, you have a 2% interest rate, that's fixed. The HELOC is an additional loan, and this is variable. So it's going to fluctuate with the markets. The markets are high now, so the interest rates on this HELOC is going to be high. So when the market goes back to normal, the interest rates is going to go back to normal for the HELOC. So it's essentially like having a second mortgage, if you will. But your original mortgage is going to stay fixed. So you have your original fixed mortgage, and then you're adding a HELOC, right? So, in short, it does not affect the current mortgage that you have. So, the HELOC, what is it? This is a home equity line of credit. Some people refer to it as a line of credit. So, it can be used to pay off debt, to pay off your primary residence, to buy real estate. So, you're essentially doing with the HELOC is you're taking the equity out of your home. So you're using the equity out of your home. You can use up to 85% of the equity. This depends on the lender. It varies on the lender. So for some, it'll be 85%. For some, it'll be 80%. For some, 75%. So it varies depending on the lender. But in general, it's going to be 85% of the equity. So say, for example, you have $100,000 of equity in your home currently. They will allow you to pull out 85% of that, which is 85K. Then you can take that money and go buy more real estate. But essentially, what they're going to have you do is if you have a lot of debt, for example, already, they're going to see that debt. So they're going to, instead of giving you the 85K outright, they're going to say, okay, say, for example, you already have a HELOC and then you're trying to get a second HELOC. So they're going to see that first HELOC and they're going to say, okay, instead of giving you this 85K outright, we're going to pay off this HELOC that you have prior. We're going to pay off this debt. We're going to pay off this debt. And then we're going to give you the remainder. So say that remainder is 40K, for example. So you take that 40K as a down payment for your next rental property, right? So with the HELOC, you have a draw period. The draw period is 5 to 10 years, and this is the time to use it. So during the drop period, that's when you're making payments on the interest only. So the payments are going to be low for around 5 to 10 years. Low payments, 5 to 10 years, because you're only paying on the interest. After that, you go into repayment, and that is 20 years. So that's the interest and the payment. So essentially, what you want to do is figure it out in that 10 years how you're going to get rid of that HELOC, because the payment is going to be going up after that 10-year mark. So you have your drop period, and then you have your repayment period. So the HELOC is variable. It's a variable interest rate. It goes up and down based on what the markets are doing. So right now the markets are kind of high, so the interest rate is going to be high. So the interest rate depends on the market, but they also base it on what your credit score is. So the better your credit score, the lower your interest rate is going to be, right? So they're looking at your credit score, and they're also looking at what the markets are doing. So right now, the interest rates are around 7% if you have great credit. And then the worse your credit is, the higher the interest rate. So for some, they would be charging around 8%. For some, they would be charging around 9%, right? And that's because the interest rates are high right now. So say we were to go back to 5%. Like a few years ago, we were at 3%. Anyone remember the 3% mark? So it depends on what the market is doing. That's how the HELOC works. So where do you get a HELOC from? So you get the HELOC from a bank or the credit union. More than likely, the bank is going to say no. So the credit union is where you would go, and small local banks. So the credit unions, they have the best rates and the best terms, right? So the credit unions and the small local banks, that's where you're going to go for the HELOC. And then you use the funds to buy assets. You're going to buy a rental property, buy businesses, home improvements, or to pay down debt. Like I said before, if they see debt, they can see your full picture. They're looking at your debt to income ratio. And if they see debt, instead of giving you that cash outright, they're going to use some of that money to pay off the debt, some of the debt that they see. Okay. So how does the HELOC differ from the cash out refi? So the cash out refi, this is replacing your existing mortgage. The HELOC is like adding an additional second. So with the HELOC, this is a cheaper way to borrow. However, with the HELOC, you have to make sure that you pay the HELOC because your home is used as collateral for it. So if you don't pay the HELOC back, they can take your home. That's why it's important that you look at the numbers ahead and make sure that it's comfortable for you. They can tell you ahead of time what the monthly payments are going to be. And so you will know ahead of time if that is comfortable for you or not. So the HELOC is a much cheaper way to borrow as opposed to the cash out refi. So you can get a HELOC for your primary residence. It's mostly used for your primary residence. However, there are some lenders that will allow you to get a HELOC from rental properties. So you can get a HELOC from your primary residence, and you can also get HELOCs for your investment properties that you have. So different lenders do different things. So some lenders will do it, and then other lenders won't do it. So that's why it's important to just talk to different lenders if you're looking for a HELOC for your primary versus if you're looking for a HELOC for investment property. So HELOC, home equity line of credit. This is a way to borrow and to build, right? So real estate is very important. Um, this is important for financial security, financial peace, because if you're only looking for investing, for example, like a 401k, a lot of people are not up to speed with a 401k. The reason being is that it's not taught in the school system, so they don't want people to know. So when you look at the numbers for the 401k, where they say you should be, this is what they're saying you should be. By the age of 30, 1x your salary. By the age of 40, 3x your salary. By the age of 50, 6x your salary. By the age of 67, 10x your salary. However, no one is taught this. All right. So again, age 30, 1x, 40, 3x, 50, 6x, 67, 10x. So real estate is what is going to save your butt. All right. And that is because of appreciation. It's also because of cash flow. So, yes, you can save here with the 401k, but the real estate is building on its own. The real estate has its own power, if you will. It is building equity out of thin air. Poof, you got $200,000 equity. That's why real estate is so important. Speaking of real estate, if you're interested in building a real estate portfolio, check out this link below and join the waitlist for the real estate group. Also, if you like the channel, do me a favor, hit this like button. What that does is it helps other people to see the channel. Also, if you are not a subscriber, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button and notification bell next to it so that you will not miss an episode. Also, check out the link below and check out my hat collection. All right. So thank you for watching, everyone. Again, before you leave, do me a favor and hit this like button. All right. Thank you for watching. Have a good rest of your day, everyone. See you next time.